As the president is celebrating this bipartisan win on the debt deal, he is squashing the bipartisan bill on student loans. Why does he accept the will of the people in one area but ignore the will of the people when it seeks to block the transfer of this debt to the taxpayers?
I don't think protecting American families or making sure that we give them a little bit of a breathing room is going against the will of the American people. When you think about 90%, right? When you think about his plan and how it's going to help 90% of Americans who make $75,000 or less. That's what we talk about. That's the most important thing to remember about the student loan. It's going to help people who truly, truly, really need it in a time where the loan, as you know, the pause is going to lift. We want to make sure that the people have a little bit of extra breathing room to be able to pay for those loans once the pause is lifted in August. And so that matters. I don't think, and also, his plan is actually very popular with Americans.
Just process-wise, I mean, his forgiveness plan was done by executive order. Even the payment pause was done through an emergency statute. But the debt bill that mandates restarting payments got votes in Congress to pass. This bill, rejecting the forgiveness program, cleared both chambers and is heading to the president's desk. I mean, how do you argue with that? This is clearly what people want to see happen.
So look, you're talking about debt relief that would have made 40 million people eligible who are borrowers. 40 million people. Again, most of whom are making less than $75,000 a year. That's who the president is focused on. That's who the president wants to make sure he protects. And that's what he did. And look, we also preserved our ability to pause student loan payments should be necessary in an event of future emergencies. That's also important, right? We have to look to see what happens. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, so we have to make sure we're ready for that. And so when you think about 40 million Americans who are borrowers, protecting them, protecting folks 90% who make $75,000 or less, I think that's important for the president to protect the student loan relief plan, right? As he did during these budget negotiations, and he's going to veto this resolution that, as you just stated, that has passed because it is not the right thing to do. The president is always going to focus on American families. He's always going to focus on the Americans who need it the most at this time. Again, 90% from his plan, 90% of folks who are borrowers are making $75,000 less in this plan, who make $75,000 or less in this plan, is going to be protected. That matters, and it's a popular plan as well. Go ahead, April.
One more real quick on guns. Should someone who's a drug user be able to possess a firearm?
I'm not going to get into tit for tat on this. I'm just not going to. Go ahead.